To former special envoy, I should say, for six-party talks with North Korea under President Bush 43, Joseph DeTrani. Ambassador, what do you make of, I know it's very hard to, quantify or support anything being said thus far, but all the pleasantries and all of that notwithstanding, what do you expect of these talks?
Neil, I'm also optimistic, as the president is. I think the president heard over a year ago that Kim Jong Un wanted a normal relationship with the United States, and the president moved on it with the first summit, now the second summit. I think now we have to see the proof of Kim Jong Un's commitment to complete denuclearization, verifiable denuclearization. So I think the president's expecting, in my view, that Kim Jong Un is coming to the table saying, I'm prepared to completely, verifiably denuclearize all my nuclear weapons and nuclear weapons facilities.
Do you really think he'll do that, Ambassador? I mean, if you think about it, I know you and I chatted about this before, but that's really the only chit in his arsenal, right? So if he gives that up, now I know it's just a matter of timing, but he's in no rush to do that. I'm sure he looks at what happened to Gaddafi. I'm sure he looks at what happened to Saddam Hussein. Right. Be careful what you promise, because it could come back to bite you. So what do you think?
No, I agree with everything you've said. However, the difference here is he wants a normal relationship with the United States. And he knows that normal relationship with the United States is going to get him out of isolation. It's going to get him foreign direct investment. It's going to change the whole complexion of North Korea. And it's going to give him the security assurances he needs, having a normal relationship. And the president has made it very clear, to get a normal relationship, you have to give up your nuclear weapons and nuclear weapons facilities. So I think some of us believe he's made that strategic decision. As long as he understands you've got to give it up. It may take time. You're absolutely right. It's not going to be done very, very quickly, but there needs to be tangibles. That's why hopefully this summit...
What would that be, Ambassador? Sorry for jumping on you, my
Sure.
friend, but what would that be? Obviously, we have different definitions of denuclearization down to the timing of it. I'm not nearly as adept at you with these international diplomacy issues, but to me, denuclearization means no more nuclear stuff. That's got to end. So the only, I guess, distinguisher here is the timing of that, right?
The timing of that, I mean, immediately he could stop the production of fissile material.
But we would have to verify that, right?
We would have to verify that. And you put your finger right on the key issue here, verification. We would have to get North Korea would have to agree to a very robust verification regime, which they did not do with his father, Kim Jong Il. That was the failure of the six-party talks. So a verification regime that would permit monitors, Neil, not only to go into Yongbyon and the declared facilities, but to visit non-declared suspect facilities. That means we believe there are other facilities besides those they're showing us. So we need access to that. So that would be a difference.
Let me get your take on the personal relationship these two have built. And I'm thinking about how acrimonious it started. But I'm also going back in history, Ambassador. Remember how acrimonious it was between then President John F. Kennedy and Nikita Khrushchev. And yet, after the Cuban Missile Crisis, and that was finally settled, both leaders seemed chastened and wizened, not to repeat or risk repeating bringing the world to the brink of disaster. And they developed quite a tight bond to eventually lead the way to, missile control, all of the stuff that we're talking about here all these many decades later. But it was built on a personal respect that was forged from a crisis. What do you expect here?
Oh, I like what you just said. I like what you just said, because in 2017, we were on the cusp of conflict with North Korea. We were that close with their missile launches, with their nuclear tests, and with the President of the United States saying, you've gone beyond the pale, you've gone too far. And now we're looking at a second summit and movement towards a denuclearization and a normal relationship with the North Korea that's going to be, if you will, a legitimate nation state. I agree with you. I think there's that element of respect that we've come that close. And now, obviously, our president and Kim Jong Un has formed a very close relationship. That's important, Neil.
Absolutely.
There's trust.
Absolutely. Ambassador, thanks for taking the time. I always learn a lot.
Enjoyed it, Neil.